I think we have to get to what's been on everybody talking about right now is the Cena heel turn, right?
F them kids, Credo.
Kids,
Yo, f them kids, Sal.
Poor Cena. So his first thoughts. He's not going to be on Raw till March 17th, which is still 2 weeks away. Up until this, I mean, people have always wanted to see it. They haven't seen it. I remember filming years ago at a WrestleMania 39 presser where somebody was asking about a Cena heel turn, and he takes his foot and turns his heel. And one of those videos is like one of the number one videos I posted for Cena for something or whatever it was. We haven't had it's been talking for years. Like almost half of his career has been talking about how come you haven't turned heel? When are you going to turn heel? And we led up to this moment of like the Cena goodbye tour. I think our last show we were talking about, in 2025 it's going to be Cena's last year. And now leading up to it, I think even at the Rumble we watched it, and I'm like, oh, okay, he made it into the last moment. Okay, he's not going to win it just yet. And so I thought we were going to get a year of that right away to where it's like, oh, next pay-per-view, oh, he was almost close that he didn't win it. And I thought he was going to be on a losing streak to the end of the year. Then he finally wins that one, and then he says goodbye. Or what we're getting now, which is, who would have guessed that like his second match back from his farewell tour, he's turning heel, and I'm excited for it. I want to see it. It's not one of those things where I don't think people are going to cheer him. I feel like they're going to boo him just like they always boo him. But like we're finally going to get something different from him, and it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be like, oh, thanks everybody, I'm on my farewell tour. I feel like it's something different for one last hurrah of John Cena. And I think it's good. He could be heel up to the last day, and then the last day he turns back and says goodbye, and then that's it. That's fine. But I'm excited for this heel turn. I don't know. Are you excited to see him as a heel, as a bad guy?
No.
Not at all.
No.
No.
You know why?
Why?
It's 15 fucking years too late.
All right.
No. Fuck this. I'm going off right now. Okay? Here you are. I think it was a great segment. It was a great turn. I think it went off really well. But he needs to be on TV. Oh, you're going to leave me guessing for 2 more weeks?
A long time.
It's like the worst heel turn ever. You just do something like diabolical that we've never thought we would ever see. I'm just going to disappear for like 3 weeks.
That should have been the first minute.
What the fuck are we doing? He should have been the first person out on Raw.
Yep.
Okay? If this heel turn is going to work, he needs to be on TV more. Not like The Rock, who we used to bitch at for, via satellite. I don't want to. If you're having a farewell tour, you have to be there for me to say farewell.
That's true.
So that's why I feel like the heel turn is great, but it's too late, and it's just not going to be enough unless we start seeing more of him when he comes back on the 17th, and it's more, week to week, and we start.
No, yeah. It was shocking because like when we were talking about it in a group chat, we were like, so wait, when is he coming back? And we're looking at like dates and like when he's advertised, and we're like 17th. That's like half a month away, and it's like after something that big, you're gonna wait a half a month to come back and talk about it. That's like ridiculous in the world of TV.
It was the bit like okay when Hogan turned. With the NWO.
That was the next night.
The next night, he's sitting there after he had that scathing promo, where he pissed on the fans. He was there the next fucking night. The best thing that's come out of this heel turn so far is the fucking memes. Like the one of him staring at the WrestleMania sign and somebody put the N and W next to the bald spot of the O on his head. That's the greatest thing ever. The memes have been better because I feel like there's no content to support this kind of a turn.
No, and it's, people are like, oh, it wasn't as shocking as Hogan's. And it was, well, it's a different time, different place because I feel like Hogan's was shocking. This was shocking, but no one's throwing cans at him in garbage. But
it's so different.
It is very different. Yeah.
You know what the difference is?
What's that?
Hogan was the all-American face. Nobody ever thought he would ever turn his back on anybody.
Yeah,
and Cena was always the 50-50. The crowd always either half loved him or half hated him. It doesn't have the same impact, I feel, as a Hogan because you always thought one day that Cena might. You never thought that Hogan would.
Yeah, and even Hogan had like a 10-year career after that too. So it wasn't like he did it at the last year of his.
Yo, you know what? You know what the other thing that drives me nuts? The fans are finally respecting Cena. Where like every single time he comes to the ring, it's nothing but cheers, right? And now all of a sudden you're doing this farewell tour and your fans are finally being respectful. Like you're going to use this to fucking his last year where he should be, made to look great and, on his way out and maybe put a few guys over and make it like a legit farewell tour. Not main event Shovel Cena. Like, who did you bury for that one, Sean? Like, it just doesn't do shit for me.
What I was getting mad at is because this goes back exactly what Punk was saying many years ago, to where he would get the main event, but then Rock would come back and take it.
Yeah.
And then look what happens now is Rock comes in, gives it, granted, a lot of whatever, but it's like Rock and Cena taking away what could have been another CM Punk main event, but anything could happen, right? We're not going to talk about that. But so it's interesting. I mean, it's something that was really big that happened, and now we're not going to see it for another 2 weeks for his reaction. I know he tweeted or did something, but it's not the same thing. You got to be on camera the next night, especially after something big like that.
Yeah, I know, and I know it went off, but, I've been the guy who just says, just sit there and wait. Just sit there and wait.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be patient.
All right.
Doesn't mean I'm not going to be a dick when I'm podcasting, okay? This is what I do, okay?
We're working out the feather. We're working out the...
No. There's no feathers to work out. Okay.
Well, it's interesting. Okay, because once again... Once we saw him at the Rumble and then we saw him lose, because at that moment everybody's like, oh, Cena's going to win it now. It was obvious, and then he didn't win it, and then it was kind of like, okay, is this going to be like
no,
his year?
You know what? Fuck you.
Yeah.
Because you know what?
I won the Rumble. I run the pool.
Fuck you. Fuck that. Okay, that's not where I'm going with that. Who were the final three?
Jey Uso, John Cena, and
Logan Paul.
Logan Paul.
And I'm pretty sure it was you. You were like, holy fuck, Logan Paul's going to win the Royal Rumble, because nobody thought it was going to be Jay, and you never thought it was going to be Cena. Credo thought it was going to be Logan Paul, and then somehow ends up winning a fucking pool.
I did draw
you, bro.
Number 19, was it Jey Uso or whatever he was?
Bastard.
As soon as you get that, I'm like, oh, I'm not winning the money this time. And then when it came down to it, I was like, wow, how much did I win? Tell me again. What did I get? No, it's interesting. So, but even going back to seeing him at the Rumble, we didn't really know what the year was going to look like. And then this is the second time it happens. And for him to turn and do this kind of a thing, I'm interested. I'm kind of seeing where they're going to go with it throughout the rest of the year. Because I know we have to foreshadow. We're on the road to WrestleMania, but if as of now he's facing Cody at Mania, the odds don't look good for him. They didn't look good for him last year, but Cody still won it. But I feel like heel Cena beating Cody at Mania, then he carries that till maybe SummerSlam or something. I don't know. I think Ric Flair's already tweeting that he doesn't want Cena to win it or something.
I saw that. If he could get his drunk ass out of that pizza parlor sober enough to make it to the fucking show, maybe.
Woo, Ric Flair. So I'm intrigued. Like I said, I'm interested to see what they're going to do with it. I don't know what they plan on doing with it. He was kind of looking like a RoboCop at the end. It was very, it was funny as soon as he went from happy to sad.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him do this kind of thing, and we're not getting like Thugonomics John Cena, or I'm kind of curious of what he's going to bring as far as being the bad guy.
Do you think he changes his music?
I think so. Actually, someone said March 17th, 2003, 8 or whatever it was. Like that's when he debuted his song. So even coming back that same day, maybe he might debut a new song or whatever.